Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon back with another episode of DC Universe Online. And I'm continuing the price guide for the Resurgence Mega Capsules featuring the power materials. So at the time of recording we're about a week and a half, a little bit more than a week and a half in from the last video, because today is October 5th and the previous one was shot September 23rd, so this is the last weekend of the promo. And I was originally going to shoot one like 1 week after the first video, but there wasn't a huge change in price. There actually isn't even a huge change now, so I'm not sure what to attribute that to, except that these might be getting consumed at a higher rate than the auras were, because the power auras with the first Resurgence had like a pretty big change in price from beginning to end. These not so much, but the tiers did stay the same as last time, or roughly the same. So we're going to take a look at that. There were probably a couple that shifted around. But as you can see, I did get my hands on a few of them. I'm still missing like some of the higher end ones, or higher to middle. So Anna to the left is displaying the Watchful munitions material and matching aura. Alina to the right is wearing the Glorious on the base armor, and the cape is enigmatic. So that's celestial and mental. Now both of the ones that Alina is wearing could work on many different styles. It doesn't have to be specific to the power, because the Glorious one, as you can see, is just like an upgraded gold that's animated, so that can pretty much work for any character that was wearing gold before. And the enigmatic purple would just work on any purple character, because there's really nothing there that's really specific to mental. It's just a nice purple material. But we'll take a look at how that trends with the prices on the broker, because it does affect that. Like the more generic ones are going to be used more. So you can see that the munitions one will be at the lower end, because that's pretty specific to, you know, camouflage or munitions, military. It's going to be less used than, say, like a Glorious or enigmatic even. Alright, so before we do that, I do have another armory to look at. So this is the Gadget's mechanized material. And with that, let's take a look at the broker downstairs. And heading over to the broker, we have Alyssa here wearing Glorious also, just like her twin. But her back style is temporal. Originally she had Phoenix back there, but it wasn't providing enough contrast to Glorious, so I went with a darker material. So the materials, like, you kind of have to play around with. I think a lot of them tend to be bright, so when you combine them together they might not necessarily look that good. Alright, let's take a look, and I'm also going to pull up a spreadsheet on the other computer. And we're sorting by price and looking at all of them, no filters. So the last video I shot at September 23rd, the lower end ones were 3,000 and going up. So it only dropped 3 million, I should say. So it only dropped 1 million. over almost 2 weeks. So not that big of a change. But we're seeing the same ones that were in the 3 millions, roughly. We have Sinister here. Yellow Light, we have Earth. Nature. So all of these dropped about 1/2 to a full million. And Enigmatic is mixed in. Glowing. More of the same until we get to 3 million. There are a bunch of mysticals here, though. Where did that fall last time? Mystical was about 4.5, and that's dropping to 3. So that's a 1.5 drop. That's a larger change than the other lower end ones. You know what we're not seeing too much of here, though, is Watchful. No, it's still there. It's still there. But it's kind of trading places with the two hard light ones. More of the same in the lower 3s. A surging at 3.5. That is pretty low for surging. And you will start to see nuclear in at 4. That I'm guessing might have the largest change, because that was 6.5 last time. You can see this for 3.5. I'm sure if I refresh this enough over like a few minutes. And this one I'm actually surprised by because it's pretty similar to Fire, and you're going to see Fire like much later on. Alright, so now we're seeing Mechanized at 3.7. That was 4.7 last time. So just a million drop, not that big of a change. This Wicked one is pretty low. Let's see, Wicked was 8 last time, and it should be, most of them will fall around the 5s. Actually, a whole bunch of these are the lower 4s right now. These are good buys for the Wicked. Because I actually made the spreadsheet a few minutes ago, and it was around 5. Surging was 5.5 last time, and you see it in the 5s here, and we saw that lower one before. So if you averaged them out, it's probably a million lower. So not that big of a change. That was the one that was kind of jumping around last time too. A lot of waters around the 5. The water material actually looks like a water texture when it's placed on large surfaces, but on smaller surfaces it can pass as like a generic light blue or like a blue crystal. So let's see, nothing different at 5. Okay, now we're starting to see temporal. These are good prices for temporal at the lower 6s. Just a few minutes ago, they were around 7 at the low end. Temporal, like Enigmatic, it's a good material to color something with. Not that flashy, not that effects based. So it goes beyond like the quantum power. This Mystical is overpriced. Same with Wicked. Now we're starting to see Furious at 7. Furious dropped about 2.5 million from September 23rd. So it was a 10.5. And it's sort of in the same tier as Fire and Blessed Celestial. So we should start to see some of those trickle in here. And actually Temporal can be grouped with those as well. Like those four, I believe those are the four that are like the finalists in the Twitter survey as well. Because they're doing the tournament with voting. Now while the broker is the truth, the voting in there is actually for the most part reflecting this. I mean it's going to be a little off, like the order will be somewhat the same. But the difference in the tiers is not going to be like that. You're not going to get that from in an elimination tournament. Okay, so we're seeing Sparking. Sparking is also grouped up with those four. Scorching is a bit higher, so these are the fire ones. So this is the one that surprises me because it's so far away from Nuclear, but the two look very similar. Like Nuclear is just like a dark version of Fire. So on one of my fire characters, I actually took the Nuclear for Shadow Dragon actually, because it's going to be, I want it to be a replacement for his Bronze style, and Bronze is like a darker version of Gold. I still have yet to acquire Scorching on any character, but I'm going to have to do it this weekend. Like these are probably going to be close to the final week prices. All of them are going to jump up because these are exclusive to this capsule. Once the last mega capsule this time around expires, that's it. There's no way to get these anymore. So 14 days after the final day, which is I think October 6th, 14 days after that, you won't see these anymore. Or you can't acquire them anymore. Obviously you can still save them and put them on the broker if you want to make a lot of money later on. So here's an overpriced Nuclear that's actually priced over these whole batch of fires. And there's still going to be that giant gap between this tier and the crown jewel, which is Arctic. So we're seeing like a 3 million difference. Like I think these are overpriced here. Temporal, Glorious. Actually, these Arctics below 15 are cheap. Especially this 12. Like you can probably buy this and then resell it later on. But in the upper end here, you're just going to see Arctic, and a whole bunch of these others are just overpriced. Like this Wicked will never sell at 20. And these of course are the collection based ones that are super high. So there you have it. And just to review what I just went over, let me go ahead and sort this by this week. So when we're looking at the lower end, I would say the first tier is the 2s to the 3s. So we have Nature, Yellow Light, Mental, Earth, Green Light, and Sorcery. In the middle, when we go from, I guess we can go from 3.5 to 5. We have Atomic, munitions, gadgets, water, and corrupted celestial. And then in the second to highest tier, we're going to have blessed celestial, quantum, rage, electric, and fire. And then in a tier all by itself, there's ice. So ice is the definite winner in here. Like it's probably going to win the Twitter survey as well, but it's clearly the nicest looking one. The only thing that could have made it like less valuable is that it's pretty specific to ice. Like if you're a fire tune, you're probably not going to buy Arctic, or you might just do it to show off. But it totally doesn't match anything but ice. And like with that in mind, it's still holding the top spot by far. So that's pretty good. I mean, we saw the fire aura do the same thing last time as well. But yeah, this is where the prices are on the final weekend. Now, to keep all of this in mind for a previous or a future resurgence, you are going to notice the prices spike on day one. Then they're going to continue all the way down to the last week. And then, of course, because they're exclusive, they jump back up. So yeah, just keep that pattern in mind if you're looking to play the broker game, which is what I did. Like, I pretty much sold everything in the beginning, and I would say out of all of the time capsules combined, I probably rolled the best on this one, because I usually don't have that good luck, like rolling that top item. With the Resurgence ones, they're a little bit different because they drop evenly, so the community defines what's valuable. Whereas, like, if you look at the smaller capsules, the devs are defining that by giving a drop rate to the rare item. With Resurgence, like, the community is making the rare item rare. So I just happened to get lucky with this one. I rolled a lot of Arctics in the beginning. For those that don't watch a whole lot, or if you're new to the channel, I'm not one to go out and blow a lot of money on these. So everything I work towards and that I use for buying and selling were all from like the daily runs. I didn't spend any money on stabilizer keys for this at all. It's just stocked up over months. So yeah, what I did was I just sold all of those, and I'm trying to rebuy everything back. So good luck getting your materials on this final weekend, and thanks for watching.